Good day, everybody. My name is Coffee Break, and welcome back to the Coffee Cast Reddit Castit Edition, where I pull the game down from our Castit, and I'm going to cast it for you guys here and throw it up online for whichever one of these two submitted it. I think it was Clubfan. Clubfan. Well, you know, since I've already said his name, I may as well introduce him first. On the bottom right-hand side of Alterzim's Stronghold TE, we are going to be having Clubfan as our blue Terran player. And on the bottom left-hand side, we have qqvpp as our green Zerg player, who I believe just overpooled. You don't see a lot of people doing overpooling anymore. It's kind of sad. Actually, I think in the end, there was some statistic on it a long time ago where overpooling really doesn't do anything for you. I think it all comes out like pretty similar in the end or something like that. I can't remember. Maybe I'll try to find that. Maybe I'll try to find that again one day. So we are going to be doing a ZVP. I believe qqvpp. QQ, I might just call him QQ or PP, I don't even know. I don't know. It'll just kind of come out as we go. He was a platinum player. Clubfan was a gold player, and if you can tell by the colors, this probably was not a ladder match unless I have like my colors altered funny or something. I don't know. I can't even remember how to change the colors. It's been so long since I've tried to do color stuff. I don't even know anymore. So this probably was just a match between a couple of friends, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be an illegitimate match. I'm pretty excited about that actually, because sometimes the friend-on-friend rivalries are the best. I know Sleeper Cells and we used to go at it for like months at a time. We'd trade off, like I'd win 2 or 3 in a row, he'd win 2 or 3 in a row. Clubfan did open up barracks into that refinery, so probably going to be a Marine. Might go into that Reaper. I'm guessing he's going to be going into the Reaper. That's pretty darn common, especially on Alterzim Stronghold. You have all sorts of cliff space that you can work with. QQ over here, just getting his first gas as well, going to be expanding into the back of his base there. A lot of Zerg players, you'll see, will actually take this front expansion and then use this back expansion as a fast third base. That way the minerals last a little bit longer, and while this back one is a little bit easier to defend, there aren't really a lot of early pressure builds going on right now, so it allows you to get that creep starting to spread forward. It's just kind of a nice little advantage in the early game for the green Zerg player, but nope. It's going to go into the back, nothing wrong with that there, and it's actually going to be a fast reactor instead of going into that Reaper, which I think is perhaps a little bit curious, getting a lot of Marine production, but I suppose that if he's getting this early command center, that actually makes a lot of sense to get that reactor, just to get a little bit of extra Marine power out on the map, make sure he doesn't die to anything early on. 2 queens on the production tab for our Zerg player. Pretty standard opening so far, actually. Couple of queens, yeah, that second base, and getting that metabolic boost to that first 100 gas. Really, everything's going about as standard as you can. I guess Clubfan's doing maybe a little bit older of a build, but it doesn't mean that it's inferior by any means. I mean, it just kind of fell out of style, I guess. Is getting his factory in the way, second barracks as well. I can only assume the starport's going to follow up fairly quickly, but for that we'd probably be seeing that second gas geyser being taken fairly soon, so we can really crank out that medevac production, especially if he gets the 3rd and 4th racks around this time, which he should be getting somewhat soon-ish. You can really pump up that Marine and Marauder production, and it makes your drop play going into the mid-game very, very potent. Over on the Zerg side of things, pretty much once again everything just setting up pretty standard here. We're getting our drone production going up, that command center just about to finish up. Our second refinery, there it is, second refinery and that starport being thrown down now. Should be getting the reactor on the factory fairly shortly, I would assume, unless he's just going to do... He might just do a single medevac production just to get one drop going out across the map, which, seeing as there really aren't that many units on the field right now, metabolic boost is about to finish up, but really we only have 4 Zerglings out. I could actually see that doing a little bit of damage, unless Zerglings start popping up pretty soon. There we go, 8 Zerglings on the production tab now. But it depends, are those Zerglings going to be going out across the map, scouting around? If they're not at home, once again, this drop could end up doing a little bit of damage. Zerglings are going to be poking at the front, Marines going to repel them. The biggest factor of Marines is actually being held back a little bit. They didn't see those. QQP did not see those when he ran up the ramp there, so he might not quite know exactly what he's going against. In fact, I don't really think he has much vision at all of what's going on inside this base here. He's seen the factory, he's seen the barracks, he can maybe assume drops, but I mean, a factory and a barracks, it really is not much information to go off of. Back in Clubfan's base, really our harvester production has been kind of lackluster this game. Could definitely use to see a lot more. We are getting double SCV production out of Clubfan right now. Drone count has stopped for QQ though, getting his Baneling Nest and a 3rd hatchery right now. Really needs a lot more drones to be able to support that 3rd base though. Medevac is going out across the map. We have 8 Marines loaded up into that, going into the, I believe, into the natural expansion. Yep, right there is where we're rallied over to. Only 1 Queen down here to defend. All the Zerglings are out across the map, and a lot more Zerglings did just spawn out. Where are they getting rallied to? They're all going out across the map as well. So Clubfan's actually going to have probably about a 20-second window where he could do a lot of damage with this drop right now. And qqvpp does see there's a lot of banelings. He's getting ready for a baneling bust there, but he's not going to get the opportunity to for a little bit here, as Clubfan has pushed into this base. That hatchery is being target fired down now, and I don't think he's going to get it. There are a lot of Zerglings coming over in this direction. The Marine positioning, though, is fairly good here, sitting at 774 health and loading most of them back. Oh, these 2 Marines are the most unfortunate Marines in the world. Did get that about halfway down. That is a potential snipe later on. Banelings, though, this could be a lot of problem for Clubfan. He doesn't really have much back home to defend with, and he needs a bunker here, I feel, to be able to really defend against a good Baneling bust, because this is a lot of Zerglings. We have 32 Zerglings out on the map. The 6 Banelings going to be more the 6 Banelings going to be more than enough to be able to push in and break down that wall. But Clubfan holding his opponent back with another Marine drop over here, that same medevac that we had before, getting a couple of drone kills, I think. 3 total, so not a ton, but really he's forcing these drones to stay off the mineral line for quite a bit of time, which is problematic for QQ, because he really doesn't have that many drones to be mining with in the first place. We can see just now getting up to 37 at that 9:30 mark. Scan went down somewhere in the main base there. There we go. Now just now seeing that Baneling nest. Keep in mind, he did not know about that until this point. So I don't know if he knows really what's going on, or if he's just kind of expecting, general Zergling Baneling play. But he needs to be prepared for this Baneling bust. The Banelings are going to be running in over here. They're well ahead of that Zergling pack, though. They're actually going to detonate on the Marines, which means that there's really nothing to get through this wall here. Only 2 Banelings, not going to be enough to get through the wall. That's going to be problematic for QQVPP, because he doesn't have anything to get past this wall, and there's a lot of Marines here. So by the time the Zerglings actually do break through the wall after the Banelings do hit, he's going to have lost a lot of them. There goes the bunkers. Now Clubfan knows what's up. Gonna have to wait a little bit longer for these Banelings to be able to morph in. That's just the time that Clubfan needs. He needs to buy all the time in the world right now, really. It's a shame he doesn't have another drop out across the map, because these bunkers are going to take quite a bit of time to finish. He still has another 30 seconds, but the Banelings are already 10 drones finishing on the production tab, so this is not really all in. Did not lead with the Banelings, though. Centrifugal hooks not quite finished yet. There we go. Now it's done. Getting 3 more Banelings. I think QQ ran up the ramp, saw that these 2 bunkers were in place, and went, oh man, I'm going to need a little bit more firepower. 11 more drones in production, and that's what I like to see. Harvester count skyrocketing for QQVPP now, which is going to help him a lot after this attack. Clubfan, he is getting his harvester count up a little bit as well. Only 2 medevacs here. I would love to see a command center go down fairly shortly, but I mean, we can see he's so low on resources right now because he's just been so low on workers, sitting at only at 36 right now. Clubfan, oh man, there's a lot of Banelings out here. Another 6 being morphed in. The Banelings lead the charge. This could do a lot of damage. That could break through the bunkers, and oh, there is a siege tank up here, which is going to help a lot. It depends if that siege tank can get a hit off right in the middle of the Banelings as they start running up the ramp. That could really help Clubfan. He just needs to eliminate a couple of these units, and I think that he'll be fine. These bunkers don't have any units in them yet. That's kind of a mistake. 1 good siege tank shot, and only got 1 off, though. Both those supply depots and the barracks go down. That means that a lot of the Banelings were wasted on that barracks. Not many Zerglings left over, and that's going to be mobbed up pretty easily by a Clubfan there. A little bit of a mistake there, I would say. In the meantime, a drop is over in that natural expansion once again of QQVPP. Marines doing a lot more work this time. I mean, they're going to take out the extractor. That's not the biggest deal in the world, but the fact is, they took out a few of the drones. Oh, stims up and gets immediately taken out by those Zerglings. But now 12 workers killed by Clubfan, and that's something that he really needed to do, because the Zerg macro is really starting to ramp up at this point. And if he had not gotten those kills, we would have been, I think, at around 60 harvesters for QQV. And compared to the 35-36 of Clubfan, that would not be good. A lot more Zerglings streaming across the map, trying to finish up this wall. Where's the SCV that's supposed to be building that bunker? That needs to go down, like, right now. That's a lot of Zerglings. Only 1 siege tank up here right now, and it does not get there in time to set the bunker. But QQ does not want to push up into that siege tank. The addition of the Marauders in this group really going to help out against the Zergling Baneling composition. But here comes a Mutalisk. The Spire is about halfway done at this point. Nice standard. I love Zergling Baneling Muta for Zerg and ZvT. I think it's like the most fun composition to watch and play even. I'm really bad at it. I'm not a very good Zerg player, but it is kind of my go-to strategy, and I commend QQ for going to it because it is very micro-intensive. This is a really big army, actually, for QQVPP. sending the one circling forward to scout out the path, and he is going to get blasted. Second siege tank is now out on the map. Now, I'd love to see that siege tank production continue on. The wall off is complete now. The Zergling's trying to lead the charge. Oh, man, a huge miss micro there. Allows the siege tanks to get off a couple of extra shots before the banelings get up there. And that's, once again, going to be a completely decimated army by Clubfan, who is just absolutely demolishing QQ in these trades right now. However, QQ does still have that better economy by quite a margin, so qqvpp is going to be able to run macro a lot faster than Clubfan would if he made a miss micro. That being said, if Clubfan does make a miss micro moving out across the map here, he's going to be in trouble. This is the one army that he can afford to muster up right now. If we look at that upgrade tab, we do have the 1-1 finished for Clubfan, which is going to help out quite a bit versus just the single +1 melee attack upgrades. Clubfan going to move in here. The Baneling's not done yet. Banelings are going to have to get canceled there. And that means that all the AoE is out of this army. QQ just has to rely on Zergling. Mutalisk needs to fall back. 14 Banelings being morphed in, but this third base probably going to get sacked. I just really can't see any way of saving this at this point. A lot of Banelings morphing in. 28 Zerglings on the way as well. 21 Banelings just about to finish up. Clubfan, you've overstayed your welcome. It's time to fall back. You're pretty far away from that siege tank line. He's engaging on creep. The Banelings getting all around the Marines there. Getting some great shots off. Going to push back. The last few Banelings do hit. Only 5 Mulos here, but here come the Zerglings. Here's Johnny, folks. The Banelings going to not quite get up on those Marines as there is a pickup into the medevacs. The 2 siege tanks are taken out, though, and like I said, Clubfan, he doesn't really have that remacroing capability that his opponent does. And QQ might be able to do a little bit of damage here. I don't think he has game-ending forces right now. No, actually, this expansion, the main base is pretty well secured. I forgot there is no third base on the low ground right now for Clubfan. So QQ not going to be able to get much damage done, but that was very well held by QQ. Clubfan engaging on the creep, never a good idea when going up against the Banelings with centrifugal hooks. You're just going to get wrecked almost every time unless you're like Polt or something doing some, 600 APM micro. Mutalisks are going to be flying around to the backside. There is a missile turret there, deciding, maybe it's not the best to engage there. Could potentially be picking out a couple of these supply depots just to kind of pull Clubfan's army back. That's not something you can necessarily ignore. But instead, QQ deciding, okay, I'm actually not in that bad of a position. I'm going to fall back home, but I can tell you something that's going to be very, very bad. And this is something that they've actually been talking about a lot at MLG, which is going on right now, which is that Clubfan's 3-3, it can be so much faster than QQ. And QQ, he isn't even upgrading at all. He's at 1-1. He's not even starting his 2-2 yet. If Clubfan hits his 3-3 before QQ even hits his 2-2, it is going to be game, set, match. Almost no amount of Banelings can help you from that. That would be a very bad situation. In the army composition, we do have 11 Marauders, which can soak up so much Baneling fire. 38 Marines, though, needs to try to keep those back. Siege tank setting up pretty far away. No creep over here right now, though. The Banelings are going to be trying to come up and engage. Instead, falls back. Those Zerglings did get one big hit off, and the 2-2 is going to help a lot here, but is it going to be enough? Banelings rolling into a lot of the Marauders, though, and a lot of the Marines still left alive, which means the Mutalisks is not going to be able to do all that much. Clubfan's army has drastically decreased in size, but the number of medevacs up in the sky is going to be very problematic for qqvpp. Mutalisks are going to be coming back home. They're going to be able to pick up the siege tank from the back. Here they come. That siege tank, it is going to go down right there, which means that the AoE potential of Clubfan going to be gone. 19 Banelings in the production tab, and I think it's time for Clubfan to leave. Again, he's going to overstay his welcome if he stays over here any longer. I think that he might have scouted out that 4th base. I'm not certain. Actually, that siege tank is still alive. Mutalisks failed to take care of that, and that's going to help out a lot against those Banelings. But, oh man, which medevac? Is he going to get the full one? Is he going to get the full one? He is not. The medevacs are going to mostly make it back home. Might lose 1 or 2 of them here. Oh man, is he going to get one of the full ones? Does he know which ones to target? No, he does not. He's focusing the empty ones right now, which, hey, every little bit helps right now. QQ actually fairly low on supply right now, dipping below 100. Still has a pretty big economic lead as far as harvesters go. Mules are keeping Clubfan in the game, but seeing as he's only on 2 bases, he's getting very close to being mined out. But 3-3 is about to finish. Clubfan needs to consider taking a 3rd base very shortly here. But he does have a pretty big, scary army. A lot of Marines, a lot of Marauders, a lot of medevacs. Wish that he had a couple of more siege tanks. Does have a Thor there. He's picked that up, put that in the medevac. Needs to be very careful not to let that get sniped by the Mutalisks. But that being said, that Thor drops down. Thors soak up so much Baneling fire and obviously do such a great job versus Mutalisks. The 4th base is established up here to the north. 5th base getting put down as well by QQ. But he really needs to be focusing on making an army right now. This is a lot of the time, I mean, I like the fact that he's expanding a lot, but he needs something to stop this. This is a huge, terrifying 3-3 bio army versus just the 1-1. A bunch of Mutas going to fly right over the top of that. 3 Mutas cleaned up instantly, and those are resources that Clubfan, pardon me, QQ cannot afford to lose right now. And again, no creep over here. I can't tell you how important that is when you're trying to engage with Banelings. That creep spread, very important, and we're just not seeing any by qqvpp right now. Going to be able to deny this base once again, but here come the Banelings flying up to the north. They're surrounding the Marauders, so losing a lot of Banelings on the Marauders, unfortunately. Marine's going to try to hightail it home. That Thor leads the charge home, which means that Thor soaked up so much of that Baneling fire. This third base, once again, does get canceled. That Thor picked up into the medevac, and I think Clubfan might be in the position here to be able to take this game, stimming up the ramp. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard Day Knight's rant about stimming to kill buildings or anything. It's great. Pretty much just don't do that. Stim only when you're engaging armies, just as a general note here. That Thor only lost about half of its health from all that Baneling fire. That's just ridiculous. Clubfan pushing into the main base now. Mutalists are trying to harass a little bit, not being able to get anything done with the Marines over here. And qqvpp, G's out. G's out. GG's out, whatever. GG's out to his friend Clubfan. That's going to be it, guys. And that is the power of 3-3 bio, by the way. Ripping through that Baneling army, Marines, Marauders alike, and took up a lot of extra damage. Especially splash damage when they've got that +3 armor. And obviously, I mean, just the +3 weapons on any bio army with stim is going to be absolutely ridiculous. So, excuse me, a couple of quick points. Try not to fall too far behind in upgrades. If you need to buy time, I loved that dropping by Clubfan over in this in the natural expansion. That was great. QQ, I like that he's expanding a lot, but needs to work on his creep spread a little bit, as well as knowing when to be expanding and when to be creating an army. Because when you're going up against something like what Clubfan had there, you just need as much army potential as you can possibly get. Clubfan, man, if that attack hadn't worked, you are down to 4 small mineral patches. You might want to consider taking a third around the 13 or 14 minute mark. If you're all inning and you do a lot of damage and need to fall back home, 16, 17 minutes, perfectly fine for a third base. Thank you everybody for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to come back and cast for you once again. And until next time, folks, this is Coffee Break, signing out.